Welcome in, folks. Kevin Thomas, John Epps here from Movin the Chains. We're here with our Week 2 high school football preview. John, if you don't mind just giving some of your thoughts on Week 1 while I send out our final tweets here and whatnot to get everybody following us. And whatnot, give us some quick thoughts on what we saw in Week 1 last week of high school football here in South Carolina.
Yeah, the games that we had were good games. Obviously had some cancellations again.
Yeah, 20 plus, I believe.
Yeah, I tell you what, one of the games that I was really looking forward to going into last week was the Chapman-Burns game, and that turned out to be a really good game. Really impressed about Burns to come out. They won that game 37-27. Chapman, had some chances at the end of the game. Were not able to convert down deep in Burns territory. So the Burns defense sounded like they had a little bend but not break action going on. I was very impressed with Ridgeview.
Yep.
Ridgeview was a team playing North Augusta, and Ridgeview we talked about last week has some lofty expectations. Not very familiar territory for Ridgeview. They've been good the last few years, but not top 5 and 5A good.
Right.
They were very impressive. They won. I'll tell you what, and even Red in a losing effort against T.L. Hanna.
Yeah.
I thought they bounced back very well after the big loss to Dutch Fork. They did a good job of being very competitive with the defending Upper State 5A champs in Hanna. So, Hagen's on them too, but come reach and play, that might be a tough team.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it doesn't get any easier for those guys playing a upstart Powdersville team this week either, for sure.
Very hot Powdersville team.
Who we'll get to in a minute. But actually, let's get to right now. John, I know they were my team of the week. I tweeted out last week that Powdersville just keeps making history. So going into the season, they'd never won their first game of the season. They've never beaten BHP, never beaten Broome. They've done all three of those in the first 2 weeks of the season. So the Patriots are off to a hot start. They've got a good coach, good quarterback, running the ball well there with the Thomas kid. I can't remember his last name, but playing well there. John, I know you took your team of the week was?
I chose, and now I'm forgetting who it was, AC4.
AC4. Shut out 5A Sumter.
Went on the road, beat them 13-0. So impressive for AC4. We saw AC4 last year win with offense. Throw the ball all over the field, a lot of speed. Win a game today or this year on defense.
Yep. So once again, Kevin Thomas, John Epps here. Week 2 high school football preview show on Movin the Chains. This is your first time here. We appreciate it. Like our video, like our page, share, tell your friends, comment. We love the interaction. You can follow us right below here on Facebook, Movin the Chains SC. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram also at Movin Chains, MOVINCHAINS. After this show's over, it'll still be on Facebook, but if you missed it, you can listen that way. Or if you want the audio-only version, we'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Check us out there. Also on YouTube. We're literally anywhere you can find stuff. We're going to be there, John. But let's get it kicked off here. The way we do this preview show, we usually go through our 4 games of the week. Let's start right now, John. Maybe the biggest one in the state. Obviously we think it is. Don't know what to think here about this game. And that's Dutch Fork heading over to Burns. At Nixon Field. We had Dutch Fork lined up to play Gaffney last week. Of course, they had the horrible incident there, the tragedy with the kid passing away. That game got called off. Burns, like you mentioned, beat a good Chapman team by 10, 37-27. This will be Dutch Fork's, first game since week 0. Had a whole week off. I don't know how much they've been practicing. I don't know what their schedule was with this stuff. But what do you foresee happening here in a battle of, 5A powers, really?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell. It sounded like Dutch Fork was continuing with practice last week. Don't know exactly the details of what they did and did not do, coping with their loss. Not sure what they were doing this week, but they, thus far, here I know it's only Tuesday, but they've got the game, on schedule. Burns planning on coming up here to Duncan, so you would assume they are under a normal schedule again this week. You don't know what kind of emotions those kids are going to have. You never know what they're going to be going through or thinking about come game time. But once the ball's kicked off, I think, talent is talent. And, Dutch Fork, I think the talent will take over. It may take them a little bit to get into the game, but I think talent will take over once the ball is kicked off and they actually get into the rhythm of the game. I tell you, I've been really impressed with Burns. I was impressed, that first week, we blew out Greer 55-14 under the water tower. Kind of expected that, but then, going on the road, 2 weeks in a row going to Chapman, a tough place to play,
Yep.
and winning that game by 2 scores is very impressive. So I think Burns, it's hey, you've done well 2 weeks, and now it's top of the line talent you're going up against now. So I think Dutch Fork wins this game, but Burns, can they feel out Dutch Fork enough, and then can they get to the playoffs and maybe get a rematch of Dutch Fork? I think Dutch Fork wins this game though by probably at least 80-10.
Yeah, and Dutch Fork obviously not playing us, so we don't have any new news on them. Obviously, Jarvis Green, the running back, went wild in the first round. I think 180 yards, a couple touchdowns for them. Still kind of play 2 quarterbacks, Patterson, Apple. Not sure what they're going to do there with that. The wide receiver Antonio Williams is a big time player for them. Burns, I got a comment here on the quarterback, the Rogers kid. Week 1, he threw for 5 TDs, no turnovers. Last week, threw for 328, 2 TDs, no picks again. So that's 7 TDs, no picks in 2 weeks of the season. Big shout out to Mac Long, the running back there, $158, 2 TDs against Chapman in that game. Like you mentioned, John, Chapman had some chances. They had the ball twice from the red zone late. I believe it was both the fourth quarter. Couldn't score. And the last time, actually, Mac Long had to go in at cornerback due to an injury, and he picked off a pass to seal the game pretty much. I will say, one thing that worries me about this game for Burns is that last week they gave up 200 yards receiving to DJ Black at Chapman.
Wow.
And Dutch Fork has a guy just as good, if not better, in the Williams kid. So, interesting to see if they can kind of figure out that pass defense about what they're going to do there, if they bracket him or what they do, I don't know. But Burns, this will be a big time, game for them. They still got to grow up on defense, we think, a lot. They can't give us big plays last week. But, you don't want to believe in moral victories because that's tough. But I would think if you're Burns and you keep it within 10, I mean, you'd be pretty happy about that, right?
And I think if you can keep it, if you ask Chapman and you say, hey, Chapman, would you want to play Burns again? Do you think you can beat him? Chapman probably go, yeah.
5 out of 10 times, I think Chapman wins that game.
We could probably beat him. We lost by 10, we could probably beat him. I think Burns, hey, if they play well, lose by 10, they can probably say, you know what? A couple plays, go our way instead of their way. Yeah, we can beat them. Mm-hmm. Let's meet them again in Columbia, and we'll sharpen it up. We can beat them.
Yeah, like I mentioned last week when we were previewing Gaffney, Dutch Fork before it was canceled, I said the problem is that we worry that, we think that these are 2 of the top 5 teams in 5A, but we don't know if they can be within 3 scores. I honestly think Dutch Fork probably wins this game by 21, 28 points. I know my Burns fans and friends are going to hate me for that, but I don't think that's going to be indicative of the end of the year for Burns. They're growing. Like I said, the Rogers kid's still growing as a quarterback. That defense has got a long way to go. They're young, but they're going to continue to grow. So with this being just week 2, third game of the year for Burns, if they get blown out, I don't think that's the end-all, be-all. But I think Dutch Fork wins this game, and I don't think it's that close, John.
You don't even think you think it's a 3-score game?
I think it is. That's probably the end we're going to be at. So if you guys are there, feel free to call me out on it. Come say, hey, we've enjoyed meeting some friends the last couple of weeks. We saw Patrick last week at Gaffney and saw Jeff at Hillcrest 2 weeks ago. Shout out to Chris. Said, what's up? Yeah, Chris, sorry missed you last week, man. Patrick said, hey, guys, thanks, Chris, or Patrick, for tuning in. Kevin Ron said, good evening from Cope SC. John, you know where Cope is?
Cope? I have heard of Cope.
I don't know where Cope is, but thanks for tuning in, Kevin. I appreciate it, man. Then Darius McCullough says, Dutch Fork Burns game of the week. We agree, man. Got Tramel in here, Kyle's in here, Brian's in here. A lot of good viewers. You guys get in here with your comments. We're going through our games of the week right now for our week 2 preview. And the second one I want to bring up here, John, is if this game, if something happens and Dutch Fork Burns gets canceled, this is where I'm going to be. And that's Greenwood at Catawba Ridge. This is a big-time matchup of 4A, 5A powers here. Last week, Greenwood beat Emerald 35-7. Emerald's, I think, a 2A school, so not a big surprise there. Catawba Ridge beat a 5A Nation 4?
I believe they are
5A Nation 4, 35-14. Got to comment on the quarterback for Catawba Ridge. The Copperheads, Jaden Davis, number 1 QB class of 2024, I believe. Threw for 309, 5 TDs last week. Had a receiver go for 130 and 2 TDs. Greenwood, though, they got the great equalizer, that triple option.
Yeah, I love Greenwood. Mm-hmm. Greenwood is a steady team. They're tough. They're big. They're strong. They know their game plan, and they're going to come out and they're going to do it. I'm a little worried. It sounds like Catawba Ridge has a ton of talent, and Rivals have promoted. So the class of 22, they've promoted 2 guys into their South Carolina top 25. Jacoby Henderson, a 3-star cornerback, and Andre Hodge, listed as an athlete. So Henderson,
I believe he also plays receiver. I think he's the guy with the $130 and 2 TDs last week.
He's a Marshall commitment. And Hodge has already committed to Wake Forest.
Okay.
So, serious talent
Yeah.
for Catawba Ridge. But how tough are they up front is what I'm worried about.
And
I have
how
no
often,
idea. Maybe
how
they
often
are.
have they played triple option teams? You know, 'cause that's not. It's hard to prepare in a week for somebody you don't see similar all year. You know, and we saw Greenwood game 1 against Hillcrest. They looked pretty good. I will tell you, I feel like they had a few holes in the pass defense. You know, even when Hillcrest was struggling earlier in the game, I feel like they kind of missed a couple throws they could have had. You know, we had a guy drop a wide open 7-yard TD pass, wide open, just drop it through his hands. And, you know, Hillcrest kind of threw on him late in the game and moved down the field. So I wonder if that's going to be an issue for Greenwood against that Catawba Ridge passing offense.
Yeah, the defense is a little bit of a concern as well. And I think, as much as I like Greenwood, I'm very impressed by Greenwood. I think Catawba Ridge is the better team.
Yeah, I think they are too. And I'm going to go with Copperheads to pull the upset. Not upset, but I guess classification upset. They're at home. I'm going the Copperheads.
Well, Catawba Ridge number 4 in the state.
Yeah.
Greenwood number 9. So really, Catawba Ridge should win this game too. But I think there's too much talent on the field for Catawba Ridge, and we didn't realize this last year.
No,
you know,
they came in and shocked Greer. Yeah,
and I'd like to know if anyone else out there. I know Catawba Ridge is in Fort Mill, but Fort Mill really is not a football power. So I don't know if this is just, hey, they're striking,
right?
You know, lightning striking with this talent. You know, where these kids would have gone if Catawba Ridge was not there. Would they be at Fort Mill? Would they be somewhere? I don't know.
Yeah.
If you guys know, let us know. Because it's pretty cool to see this new school. Year 2 of the program.
Yep.
With some Division I talent. And, hey, they're going to be a serious contender.
They are.
For the state championship this year, in my opinion.
Chris asked where we're going. Looking at Dutch Fort Burns, the playing right now over at Nixon Field. See Michael and Steven in here. Mark Tyrell, Corley, appreciate you guys. Let's go to our third game of the week, John. This is the one that Amy Rush Shepard just commented on. She's going to love this one. That's Mauldin at Greenville. Right in our backyard right here, John. Mauldin beat a good, 0-2 now Spartanburg team, 14-9 last week. I believe that was on the road at Spartanburg. And then Greenville manhandled Wayhampton, surprise, 70-7. Mauldin, defense play lights out. You know, the Lucas kid, the Caldwell kid, Aaron Bowe. I think they had 2 picks, and neither one of them for Caldwell or Lucas. So that defense has got some real players over there. I did see Deuce Caldwell had a receiving touchdown on offense, so that's something I do. I do like. I was talking to my friend about this last week that, you know, I know how it happens a lot at the lower levels of 1A, 2A, 3. You got guys playing both ways. I wish, and I'm glad to see a team like Mauldin do this, even at 4 and 5A level. Sometimes you got to put your best athletes on both sides. Maybe not the full game, but get a guy like a Lucas kid that's a great DB. Put him a receiver for a couple possessions. You need a spark, maybe give him an end around, whatever it is. But, you know, Deuce Caldwell getting a TD receiving kind of plays to that. And that's a good win for Mauldin. You know, I know the Jeter kid came in. He didn't start, but came in, I think, 2 series later for Spartanburg. So he's a good quarterback. Mauldin pretty much shut him down. Greenville, not much to say. They had a big win, won by 63 points. Franklin, Holland all had a big game. This is going to be a whale of a matchup down at Serene Stadium Friday night, John.
Yeah, I don't really know. Well, I think I know what I think. I was impressed. I did not expect Mauldin to beat Spartanburg last week. Mm-hmm. I've kind of talked down on Mauldin. I'm wearing their colors here. But I was impressed with that win. You know, they should have a good defense. They do have a good defense. And I think it's great putting Caldwell at offense. Mm-hmm. That's going to make him a better quarterback. Yeah. That's going to be good for him too.
Yep.
But yeah, put your best athletes on the field. There's some colleges that are in the state that should probably do the same thing at the quarterback position. They don't seem to be wanting to do that. But Mauldin's figured it out.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great game. I think Greenville, it's a long season. Mm-hmm. This is only game 3 for them. But in the first 2 games, they have not gotten in their own way.
No.
They have let the talent take over.
Yeah.
Play their game, and I like Greenville in this game. I think Greenville's going to win this.
Yeah, Curtis Staley says so many D1 caliber athletes in that game. That's 100% correct.
Yeah,
I mean, big-time talent. Not even, this year's class, but some younger guys, too, like a Franklin kid at Greenville and a few others as well that are around there. So, a lot of talent. It's going to be a really fun game. What worries me, John, is the Mauldin offense. I think they're going to be able to slow down Greenville somewhat. I don't see Greenville scoring 70, obviously. I don't know if Greenville will score 30. They may score 28, 24 points. I don't know if Mauldin has the firepower at the quarterback position to be able to keep up. I think I'm going to lean the Red Raiders as well here in this matchup.
Yeah, but the only I'm getting in my own head now here again. That first week was such a good win for Greenville. Mm-hmm. Go on the road to Rock Hill, win by a field goal. Rock Hill got blown out last week.
Yeah, did not look good against Northwestern. They did not.
Do I think Northwestern will go to Mauldin and beat them? 48-14? I don't think so. So, that win, it looks great because it's Rock Hill. It's a big-time program. It's a big name. But that's a team that's lost 8 games in a row now.
Yeah.
Dating back from last year.
Yeah. I know they were close, but, I mean, at some point you got to get a win,
You
right?
got to win.
Yeah.
You got to win. So, I think I'm overinflating that Greenville win a little bit. So, that worries me. Mauldin may be the better team.
We'll see.
But I want Greenwood to win.
Yeah. I wish it was for Mauldin's sake, I wish it was at home. I mean, Serene Stadium, I won't say like the crowd is that wild, but the stadium can be kind of an atmosphere and be intimidating thing because the way it is down there. It's a very neat place to play, so you wonder if that maybe plays a factor at all. I don't know. We'll see. A couple comments here I want to get to. Stephen Smith said Hillcrest Spartan. We'll get that in a little bit. We will, Stephen. We'll cover that, so stay tuned for that. Patrick says he agrees with John now. Circling back to your comment from last week, he said that it may not be Mark Hodge, especially after seeing Chapman be close with Burns for a while. Hodge better watch his back, maybe more of the Chapman program.
Yeah.
With him being 0-2 at Spartanburg, I don't know what to say. I mean, they had a great coach, Chris Miller. Things happened there, not saying anything. Mark Hodge is there now. They're 0-2. Bad year last year. Patrick, you're right. You gotta watch out for something.
Yeah, I'd like to know more about both of those situations, honestly. That might not be something we can talk about, but maybe off air, offline.
I see Daedrine's in here now. Paul's in here. Amy says Greenville plays Northwestern Shooter. I think that's the week of 9/17. I may be looking at going to that game. That would be a fun Friday night. Patrick said Rock Hill better be ready for the Tribe. LOL. Yeah, Gaffney may blow the brakes off of Rock Hill. Let's throw that out there. We'll get to that in a little bit. But our 4th game of the week here. This is one that we debated on putting in there, John. It's not a very strong schedule this week as far as big-time games. So we had this from a couple of others we were deciding between. And that's Dorman making the long trek down to Fort Dorchester. Dorman got off the snide last week with the win, 33-0 over Bowling Springs. They're still playing 3 QBs. I don't know what they're going to do with that situation, John. You've always heard, you got two QBs, you got none. What if you got 3? What does that mean? I mean, that's
not good.
That's a big mess. So Dorman got a big win last week. I love the receiver, Norman. Ken Norman, really good player. They've been there for quite a while. Big-time talent there. On defense, Foster, Dawkins, Lee been playing well for them. Fort Dorchester, this is one of my considerations for Team of the Week, John. They beat a team that we like a lot, Carolina Forest, and beat them handily 58-26. Zoltan Osborne, the QB, had 380 and 2 TDs. Wide receiver McKelvey had a big game. And listen to this stat. You're going to love this stat. Fort Dorchester had 2 receivers go over 100 yards. One of them, Joyner, did it in just the first half. The second one, Mitchell, did it in just the second half. So Fort Dorchester, I mean, they had their way with Carolina Forest, John. Normally, I think this would be a game I lean towards Dorman in the past. But the way that Dorman looked week 1 against Clover, what I've heard about the QB situation, that worries me a lot. I love Zoltan Osborne. I think I'm going with Fort Dorchester to win this game at home.
I have nothing against Dorman. Nothing at all. I think they can get blown out.
Really? That offense can score. Fort Dorchester can put points on the board.
And here's a big problem, I think, too, for Dorman. I'm looking at defensive tackle for Fort Dorchester, Demetrius Watson, a 3-star guy. He is in the middle of that defensive line. He's 6'4", 270. This guy's not a scrub.
Yeah.
He's gotten offers from Arizona State, Georgia Tech, South Carolina, Syracuse, and Virginia Tech. All of those schools have put out some pretty good defensive line. They know what they're talking about. You got a big guy like that on the line, that's a big time thing. And Dorman, hey, Bowling Springs, they did great, but they scored 7 against Clover. They had 3 quarterbacks. Fort Dorchester just knocked off the defending lower state champs.
Yeah.
Knocking them off, blew them out.
And I make a point about that. We talk about the defense. Carolina Forest scores 26, which is a pretty good number for most teams. Not for Carolina Forest. Carolina Forest scored 70 the first week. They routinely score in the 40s and 50s. So holding them to 26, that's a pretty good defensive performance.
Very good. Very good.
I think Fort Dorchester wins as well. Chad says, what are some Dorman players to watch out for? Obviously I said Norman at receiver's a good player. Lee, Foster, Dawkins on defense are good players there. The quarterbacks are playing the Kilborn kid. They're playing a couple other guys. The quarterback, I don't know what to tell you there. We'll see how that goes. But Keelan Norman's my favorite guy on at receiver. They've got the kid last name Black at running back. He's a good player too. But
is that Chance Black still there? Or Chance
No,
Black?
I believe it's his younger brother. Chance Black is, I think,
he graduated last year.
Yeah, Chad said the defensive lineman also scored a rushing TD for Fort Dorchester.
All right.
Chris said Dorman's going to be in big trouble. Fort D by 21 or more. You might be on to something, Chris. I mean, if it starts snowballing, Fort Dorchester's not going to let up. They're going to keep scoring points all night long. So,
and you have a little bit of a rivalry too. These lower state schools, low country, they feel like they have a certain level of respect that they demand, and the upper state, it's the same way.
Yep.
So when a Fort Dorchester, they get a chance to beat up on a program like Dorman, well, they're going to do it. They want to prove something too.
Yes, that's right. I see Derek in here, Scott's in here now. Paul, appreciate you guys. I want to give a quick shout out. Now we're doing our games of the week. We're going to run into a statewide scoreboard here in a second, John. But I'm going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. First, the Georgia Agency, our long-time sponsor here, serving insurance needs of South Carolina for over 35 years. Full line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance with an office in Mullins and Merle's Inlet. They can help you all across the state, whether you're in Greenwood, Rock Hill, Gaffney, Greer, Charleston, wherever. They can help you out. So if you're a seasonal employee, you need some insurance. If you're a business owner, need it for your company, they can do that too. If you need life insurance, whatever, give Bradley, Richard, Wayne, and the crew a call. GeorgiaSC.net. These guys are great, and they will certainly help you out. And our new sponsor, John, is it too late for the sound? Do you think we should kind of let it go away now? Or just keep doing it?
Yeah.
New sponsor is Secured Advantage Federal Credit Union. They have a clear purpose to improve the financial lives of their members. They offer much lower loan rates and don't charge the fees other banks do. Whatever your personal journey, Secured Advantage is here to offer you smart financial solutions. Join today at securedadvantagefcu.com. That's securedadvantagefcu.com. Secured Advantage Federal Credit Union. Win at banking, thrive at life. Member NCUA. I like that phrase.
You can't miss them. Now that when they go on the show.
You know where
I
they
live
are?
in Simpsonville.
Yeah.
They are a very, very big building right there, almost right across from the clock tower.
Yep.
There on Main Street.
Got a location right there. Got a location over in Duncan as well. A few others. So check out Secured Advantage Federal Credit Union, our new sponsor that we love very much. See, Quinton's in here now. A few other followers for you guys. This is your first time. Like the post, like the video, like our page, share it, tell all your friends. I love to kind of get the word out. We're loving the comments that are going here. Appreciate you guys for doing that. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Movin' Chains. Check out the audio-only version of the podcast on Google, Apple, Spotify, wherever. It'll be out probably later tonight once we get done or first thing tomorrow morning. So always check us out on there. We appreciate you guys for that. John, do you have the statewide schedule pulled up for us here and kind of run through that? Or if you don't, I'll chat here for a second. But, we've had, I think at last count, around 15 games canceled already this week, and that doesn't count the ones that got rescheduled and then canceled again. This is just like original schedule canceled. We got some makeups going on, but it is still a mess. Hopefully, we're starting to get through this, but I don't know how we're going to. Maybe we will. But John, if you want to run through some of the statewide schedule, if one's canceled, I'll pop in there. If we have a comment on it, we'll pop in and throw it in there. But let's run through some of the statewide games here this Friday night in week 2.
Yeah, starting out small, we got Baptist Hill going to Bethune-Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina Forest will be hosting Conway. Powersville, as we said earlier, 2-0 Powersville.
Yes.
Hosting 0-2 Wren. Who would have predicted
this
that?
This is a big game here. Obviously the record for 0-2 Wren is not what you want to see. But Wren, like I said, fought hard last week against TL Hanna. No shame in losing to Dutch Fork. Maybe by 63 points. That's kind of a shame, 60 points, whatever. But they played well last week. Like we always say, Coach Jeff Tate, really good coach there. He'll have these guys ready to go about region play. They're going to keep getting better and better. This may be the game where they beat a 2-0 Powdersville and kind of get on a roll. We'll see, but that should be a very good ball game for the Patriots and the Hurricanes Friday night.
Now, this is a very big game in York County. Clover will be hosting Northwestern. That is Clover, the number 10 team in 5A, Northwestern, the number 17. So that's a pretty big game. Didn't make it in our games of the week, but certainly will be on our.
Yeah, Clover, if they had won last week, they'd have been in there. But they lost to Myers Park. Tough loss there. And the Northwestern got a big win over Rock Hill after losing a tough one to South Point week 0, excuse me.
We'll have Manning hosting Estill, Saluda hosting 96. As we said, Spartanburg will be hosting Hillcrest. That's going to be a tricky game. I like Hillcrest in this game.
Yeah, I think Spartanburg goes 0-3. I think they do. Hillcrest, if you're still in here, Steven, here's your chat for Hillcrest. I like the Judy kid a lot. I like the Coldren kid at running back. I like Avery McFadden at wide receiver. This Hillcrest team has some firepower.
Yeah, I really like McFadden. He's got some attitude too, and he runs, but he doesn't shy away from contact. He's a good player.
That's right. I like their chances to win and send Spartanburg to 0-3. I want to circle back over to Saluda. Saluda is a team to watch out for in 2A. They had a really good year 2 years ago, won the state championship. Last year fell off. They've had some nice wins this year already, including beating a pretty good Rich Spring Moneta team like 50-something to nothing last week. So
they
were
a
team to watch out for.
I was thinking about Saluda as my team of the week last week. I think I want to say it was 46-6. Something like
actually, the more I think of this, I think that game might be canceled.
Okay.
Saluda 96. Do have some comments right quick in here. Darius said Gadsden's a 31.5-point favorite over whoever they're playing this week. That is, I see that, yeah. Derek Day said Lakeview Wild Gators. Lakeview said, Chris said Gadsden's about to run into a big gauntlet. Mallard Creek and Burns next week plus Dorman. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Northwestern will score at their will on Clover, says Chris Bland.
Really?
The Madison kid, quarterback, is a good player for Northwestern. See how that goes for sure. What else? Anything else? Yeah, Steven says thanks. Yeah, I'm picking Hillcrest too. So I think the Rams go to 2-1 this week.
So touching back on Clover, Myers Park has some athletes on their offense. I think they put up maybe 33 on Clover. I got it here. I had it here. Yeah, 35. They got outscored 35-13 in that game against Myers Park. But Myers Park's got some D1 talent off the side of the ball. So I'll be impressed if Northwestern really outduels Myers Park on that regard.
I will say the Clover offense worries me after 2 weeks. Yeah. Usually Coach Brian Lane, a lot of offense, scored 13 against Dorman, or was it 20? They scored 20, right? They scored one late. 27. And then only 13 week 2. That kind of worries me. But some of the defense is not awful, so we'll see how this game turns out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. So here's a little – this is prickly. I got Carolina Forest maybe playing West Florence. So one of those games was canceled.
I believe they're playing West Florence. There's been a lot of fluctuation down there with the schedule moving around. I saw the 3A region with Dillon in it today. Said they're going to redo it and they're going to play region games first. So that it's a mess down in the PD area and the Myrtle and Grand Strand area right now.
Unfortunately for Dillon, they've had one game canceled because of the other school, and another game canceled because
I saw somebody make a joke today. The prep poll came out that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but they said some of these teams are going to stay in the top 2 all year without playing a game. So hopefully they can get them the field soon. We'll see.
Taking that Big Ten strategy.
That's right.
Hopefully this will be a pretty good game here in the lower classification. Blackville Hilda hosting Denmark Olar. Somerville trying to bounce back. They'll be hosting Wando.
I got to tell you, I'll talk more about this game with the gap in here. Somerville was not impressive. Offense has got some big problems down there for the Greenway.
It's been a couple years. I know Louisville Belgium went down to Somerville a couple years ago. It may have been 2 years ago. Went down first round of playoffs, and I think they lost 10-6. So it's just a hard-fought game where neither offense could really do a lot. Hartsville will be hosting Camden. Hartsville, a team that we usually talk about.
Yeah.
They're 0-1. They kind of got beat up.
May River beat them well. I think May River's number 10 in the poll now. But yeah, that was surprising.
And Camden, they bounced back extremely well last week against.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Dropped a 50 burger on the Demons, so they're going to try to keep that rolling. We've got Mullins will be hosting Andrew Jackson. That'll be a good game. Andrew Jackson dropped the first game, but they are a good team. Carvers Bay is scheduled to host Georgetown. Crestwood is going to host a 2-0 Richland Northeast team. Richland Northeast has been struggling last few years, so impressive to see them at 2-0.
Yeah.
Denmark Olar hosting Branchville. North Central is on schedule still to host Johnsonville.
They are playing Johnsonville, yes. That got moved around. I think that's how it works out now. Yeah.
Louisville will be hosting Buford.
What a mess.
96 is going to host Silver Bluff.
Yes, that's the new one for them. Yep. That's the game got canceled. That's right.
McAfee's going to try to host Latta.
Canceled. Latta is now playing Great Falls.
That's
Friday night.
That's right.
All over the place.
So we've got a third.
I do got to shout out McAfee, though. Bit tough L for them last week to the PD Golden Eagles. You know what? I hate to see it.
May not get back into the Skeeza.
You don't want to come back to the lawn. Nobody walks out alive out of there.
You get cut on the lawn.
That's right.
Chesterfield will be going to Hannah Pamlico. Manning will be hosting. Manning.
I think Manning's out. Yeah, I think they got some
that's another
issues.
One. Pickens was supposed to play Pendleton. That's not going to happen. Well, it says Pickens has played a game. I don't think so.
I don't
think they have.
It's tough, John. It's tough right now.
North Augusta is going to go across the state line, try to play Grivetown.
I think that's happening. I saw an issue. Quote, it may not be, but I'm pretty sure it is still happening.
Boiling Springs will be hosting Chapman. Chapman trying to.
Boiling Springs going to 0-2. Chapman getting dug, getting back on the right track there.
Yeah.
That settled kid, the quarterback is a good player, and DJ Black, like I said, 200 yards last week. That Chapman offense is going to be tough to stop for anybody in 3A. If they, we've talked about it before. I don't want to call anybody out, but some of the coaching decisions didn't make sense last week. Maybe they'll get that figured out. Don't throw it and spread it out and get moved in the field doing that, and then get within the 20s and try to go power and big. Keep doing what you do the whole field. So we'll see if they get that figured out.
Got Hanahan going to host Cane Bay. Hung out with some Hanahan guys this past weekend. Be careful with that Hanahan. Those guys are crazy. Riverside will be hosting Berea. Riverside trying to go 3-0.
How about that?
How about them being JL Man last week?
In a tough ball game, too. I think their defense caused 4 turnovers, I believe it was. 14-7 win. The Sanders kid at quarterback, good player there. They've got some players we like at Riverside. If they go 3-0, I mean, they might have playoff potential this year.
So far, this has been a season of some teams that have been punching bags last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Rise up a little bit. Riverside.
Yeah.
Powdersville.
Yeah, Paul says how about Riverside could go 3-0 for the first time since 2001. So 20 years in the making. But I think they do. I think Berea got a win last week, but I do think Riverside takes this game and goes to 3-0.
Yeah, I think they're a lot better
Friday
than Berea.
Yeah.
Seneca will go to Easley. That's a 2-0 Seneca team.
I tell you what, Seneca's sneaky this year. They are easily had a lead with Daniel with like 0.2 seconds on the clock. Basically, they were up 14-7 in the first half. Blow the whistle dead, halftime, whatever. Refs huddle up, give Daniel one play. Daniel scores, going into the half, tied up 14-14. Blow them out in the second half. Like, 50-something, 20-something, whatever it was. But easily played tough for a half, so we'll see if they can build off of that against a good Seneca team.
Got to put together a complete game. Mm-hmm. Lake Marion will host Scotts Branch. Lower Richland will host Hilton Head. Hilton Head
Diamond
yet to play a game
Diamond
yet.
Hornets. I think they're 2-0.
They are 2-0. Hilton Head not played a game yet, but they've got the Rivals' #1 player in the state, Jalen Sneed.
Yes, good
linebacker going to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So get a chance to see Hilton Head. Go do that. Blythe would be hosting Brooklyn Casey.
Yep.
Irma, now this is a game that could be a good game.
This is what we talked about. We talked about this and they possibly in the games of the league.
Irma hosting South Florence. South Florence says this is another team. They have been a punching bag last few years. They're 2-0. Got a lot of talent on their team.
Really good quarterback. Lenore Sellers committed to Virginia. I believe he's a junior this year. I don't think Irma has played a game yet. I think they've had issues. They've got a quarterback too there. Isaiah Whiteside transferred in from Gilbert, I believe. So they've got some talent at Irma's. That could be an interesting ball game Friday night for sure.
This is an interesting scheduling. Airport hosting the Chester Cyclones this week.
Yes.
Because the airport said, hey, we're going to play Chester.
Was scheduled, I believe, to play Bluffton or someone. That team got COVID, whoever it was, that was out. Airport then scheduled to play Broome. Then they said, you know what, I don't want to play Broome anymore. Let's play Chester. So here we are. A lot of moving parts here into 2021 for sure.
They better beat Chester.
Yeah.
Keenan will host Dreer. That would be the first game for either of those programs.
Yeah, you got to say, I don't know if you saw, John, Keenan had a player pass away as well within the past week or two. So prayers for those guys. Hopefully they get it figured out. Hopefully the team come out and kind of rally around each other and play well.
Fort Mill will host Indian Land. Beaufort will be hosting a team across state lines as well. Benedictine. And we've got Ashley Ridge is scheduled to host Stratford. Lakeview scheduled to go to East Clarendon.
Derek Bethea, your boy, Lakeview boys, I like your chances. And they got a nice win last week. I think they get another one here Friday night for sure.
We've got Pelion hosting Midland Valley. Neither one of those schools has gotten a win yet this year. Somebody's got to win Friday. So I've got now. Is Liberty going to be able to play? Because we've got
Liberty is off. That got canceled today against
right.
Berea, I believe, was it not?
It was Broome.
Broome. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Liberty's the one that got canceled in Broome. Yep.
So Chester was going to play Lancaster. That's how it's not happening.
Yes, canceled. Lancaster just played last night, lost a tough game, and I believe they had COVID issues today, so they had to cancel Chester. Fort Mill also canceled, by the way, if you've seen that or not.
Did not see that.
Okay.
Barnwell scheduled to host South Aiken.
I tell you what, I got a comment on Barnwell here. They're always a top 2A team. They lost a game by, I think, a couple scores to Calhoun last week at a 1A school. That really surprised me. It gives me some pause talking about the Warhorses this year. So we'll see how they bounce back Friday night.
Yeah, it's not good looking. I mean, South Aiken's a big school.
Yeah, Chris says, do y'all think Kenny will play after that player died last Saturday? I believe they will. From what I hear, it sounds like they're going to play the game. Scott says South and West Florence look good so far this year. They have.
Yeah.
That I'm telling you, that South Florence quarterback, he's must-see TV. If you're in the area, go see the Sellers kid play quarterback. He's a good player for the Bruins there. Thanks, Scott, for the comment there.
We got Silver Bluff is going to host Aiken.
Nope, Silver Bluff's going to 96 now.
Okay.
Yep.
Berkeley going to host RB Stall.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of those teams played a game yet. Greer going to host Westside. Batesburg Leesville is going to host Swansea. And Eastside looking to host Wade Hampton this week. Landrum going to host Crescents. And let's see, we got a couple more cancellations here. Goose Creek will be hosting West Ashley. Blue Gulf Elgin going to try to get their first win of the year. They're going to play Chapin, who has not played a game yet.
Chapin, really good running back. I think last name's Galloway going to NC State, so good player to watch out for there.
Timmonsville in the last.
Canceled.
I ain't going to play.
Last season for Timmonsville, they had on schedule until today. Hate it for them.
Yeah. Hunter Kinder Tyler will be hosting Wagner Sally. Nation 4 will be hosting River Bluff. That should be a pretty good win for River Bluff. Should be able to bounce back on that one. Although River Bluff kind of not going to say they struggled against Blue Gulf Elgin, but only winning 28-7 didn't seem like Camden did to LA.
And they lost to Spring. I know they didn't play Spring Valley. Go ahead, sorry.
They are 1-1. They did lose.
Okay.
I think it is Spring Valley they lost to last week.
Okay, it was Spring Valley, yeah.
Kicked their butt.
Yeah.
JL Man will be hosting Travelers Rest.
JL Man trying to get back on the winning track. I think TR 0-1 got canceled last week. See how that ball game goes.
The Marion Swamp Foxes going to host Hemingway.
I think that's happening. I don't want to say for sure. I think it's happening.
Darlington going to host Sherrall. And Westwood is going to host York. Gaffney going to Rock Hill. Not looking good for Rock Hill.
I was at the Gaffney game last week, and first off, you guys have not been to the new reservation, you need to go. I'd been to the old one several years back, hadn't been to the new one. Place is nice, John.
It looked nice.
I got to meet our boy Patrick. That was great. Super nice facility, tons of stadiums, great concessions. I had a really good hot dog. It was very good, very good. So check him out. And I think everybody is pretty hyped on the Loftus kid at quarterback. He's got talent, but I'm telling you, what's going to drive that team are the two running backs. Tyler Smith, Ken Littlejohn at running back are very good players. If they hand those guys the ball 30 times a game, they're going to keep winning. They're going to beat anybody. Maybe that does sport, but they're going to win a lot of football games. Loftus is still kind of figuring out the offense a little bit, but the running backs look very good. Had a corner look very good as well. We're talking about him as well, and then a couple of receivers that were pretty solid. So big win for the Indians last week. I think they get another big win Friday night against Rock Hill.
Hey, what do they say a quarterback's best friend is? A good running game.
That's right. They've got that.
We've got, this could be an interesting game here. Woodruff is hosting Southside Christian.
Canceled today.
Oh.
I was looking forward to that one too.
That would have been a good one. Abbeville going to host Emerald. Abbeville.
R.I.P. Emerald.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good one. Not going to be a good one.
They beat Newberry 30-6 something like that last week. A good Newberry team.
The Ainer will host Green Sea Voids.
Canceled.
And
Ainer is now, I think, playing Well Branch.
Okay.
I believe.
All right.
I got a quick story I got to put out against Well Branch. They were supposed to play Andrew Jackson, the private school.
Okay.
So this is the second time Andrew Jackson would have done this year. So Andrew Jackson plays 8-man Skeeza football. They already one time this year added 3 players, played 11-man, and won.
That's awesome.
So they were going to do it again against Well Branch. I don't know if they would have won or not, but they were going to up their game and go play some 11-man. So
they're like the opposite of this Bishop Sycamore. That's
right. Would have been a great ball game, but I think Well Branch is now hosting Ainer instead. So
well, good for Andrew Jackson. You got him stepping up. That's pretty cool.
For sure. Anything else you got, John?
That wraps up the schedule for Friday.
I do want to shout out one more Skeeza game. PD going on the road to Florence Christian. Big Skeeza matchup there in 2A. I think it's really the bigger schools are PD, Williamsburg, Florence Christian. You hate to have to play a team that's, one of your competitors just early in the year, you would think. But with the COVID things, maybe it's a good thing to get out of the way. Who knows what to think about that. But PD coming off a big win last week against McBee. Florence Christian's looked well. Hopefully this game can keep going. I know PD's had some, I mean, not PD, but like some people in that area have had COVID issues. Not saying PD has. Don't take it the wrong way, guys. Sorry. But yeah, PD, a lot of talent on offense. A Spivey kid, the Sinclair kid. They can throw it around. They can run the ball. I mean, I got to roll the Golden Eagles, right?
Yeah.
On the road. I'm taking PD. I'm taking PD over Florence Christian, but that's the last game I got there. Rashodi said Lamar is now playing Lakewood Saturday. I think I saw that get added, actually, so that's one more there. I think that'll be Lamar's first game of the year, I believe.
And Lakewood's not very good. So
No.
Hopefully that'll be a good game to ease into for Lamar.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's our statewide scoreboard there for you guys. If we missed one, let us know. If you want to hear some more comments, or let us know about that. But now I do want to roll into a quick chat about our pick'em that we're doing here. If you guys haven't gotten to be into it yet, be sure to do that. We've had 2 weeks in, like we said. You're going to drop your little score, so it's not too late to get in. But we want to give a quick shout out to our leaders for the Week 1 scoreboard, and we had a guy go 10-0. Hats off to Ryan. They're going 10-0. Curtis and Tyler second place at 9-1. John and I went 8-2. John 5-5. It's still early in the year, right, John? Don't worry about it yet. You got time. We had a lot of guys tied at 7-3. I think we had about the same number of entries, so I appreciate you guys getting in for that. But hats off to Ryan for going 10-0. And to piggyback off of that, our overall leaders now 2 weeks into the season. Ryan obviously was 16. And, it's hard to beat him when he had 10 in 1 week. Yeah. He's sitting right there, and then Curtis and Tyler at 15. Kane, Mark, and Haley all at 14, and a group there at 13 as well. So anybody's game this early in the season. So it should be a great time. If you're not a part of it, get into it. We'll post it probably tomorrow, the link with the Google form to fill it out. So hopefully get into our pick'em. You want to win that prize at the end of the year. I promise you do. So get in for that. Quick comment here. Derek said, let's hope so. Talking about the Wild Gators getting the win. Nick says, Andrew at Well Branch confirmed. Yep. And Patrick says, Blacksburg is out for 2 weeks due to COVID. So you hate to see that there from Blacksburg. But, John, you want to give us a quick read through the prep polls here? Those just came out this afternoon, so we'll give you guys a quick look into that. And John and I will make our comments as we always do, that we don't agree with a lot of the stuff they have in these prep polls. So let's have it, John.
Yeah, we'll start with 5A. So this is a pretty cool thing about 5A. So we got 1, 2, 3. We have 4 games this week against top 10 teams. Mm-hmm. 3 of those 4 are in 5A.
Yeah.
So obviously we got Dutch Fork at number 1. Fort Dorchester, rightfully so, taking that number 2 spot.
2 lower state spot schools won too. How about that?
That's right.
I'll see that here in 5A.
Number 3, TL Hanna. We got 4 is Gaffney. Ridgey staying at number 5. Burns at 6. Northwestern 7. Dorman hanging in there at 8.
I think that's more of a respect deal, because that's more of a name vote there so far, I would think. But we'll see.
Spring Valley is 9 after that win against River Bluff. Clover at 10. Some of these guys on the outside I would probably put in over Dorman that have gotten votes. Sumter, they lost. Still a pretty good team.
And they were scheduled to play Ridgeview this week. They got canceled due to COVID. That would have been a good matchup in 5A as well.
Mauldin, potential one as well.
If they win this week, they're going to the top 10. Got to.
I think they have to.
Yeah. Even over a 4A team, a number 2 4A team.
Dorman's probably going to lose, so.
Yeah, that's a spot for them right there.
And then we jump down to 4A. You got AC Flora, of course, sticking with number 1. Greenville getting 1 first place vote. They are number 2. They were tied at number 2 for a couple of weeks. Myrtle Beach now is number 3.
Who has still not played a game. And I don't think they play this week either.
No. Catawba Ridge checking in at 4.
Watch out for Copperheads.
Now here's one, South Point at 5. I think they should be higher. I think I would put South Point ahead of Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach haven't played yet. We just don't know.
They played, South Point beat Northwestern. We think it's pretty good week 1. Didn't play last week. Don't play this week. Had Mallard Creek scheduled for this week. They had to cancel the COVID. So kind of learning about them. But yeah, that was a good week 1 win or week 0 win for those guys for sure.
Got Myrtle Beach standing in at 6. Beaufort at 7 now. Irmo is now at 8. Greenwood at 9. I would put Greenwood maybe a little higher because they've played.
Yeah.
They played 2 games. I would put them ahead of Irmo. Irmo hasn't played.
They beat a 5A team week 1.
Yeah.
On the road. Week 0. Sorry.
On the road.
I guess. Yeah.
And you have May River now checking in at 10th. West Florence on the outside looking in there.
So it's South, I believe, as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, both.
Yep. Receiving votes.
Now we go down to 3A. You got Daniel, of course, they're taking number 1. Dylan, number 2.
Still haven't played a game yet.
They haven't played a game yet either. Chapman at 3. Gilbert is at 4. Camden at 5. Camden looked a lot better last week than week 0. You got Union County checking in at 6. Chester at 7.
Union County, good matchup against Lawrence. No, that's canceled, I think.
They were supposed to play that.
Excuse me.
That would have been a good one.
Union County Lawrence was a pretty good ball.
You got Chester at 7, Aynor at 8, Brooklyn, Casey at 9, and then Clinton at 10. Well deserved for Clinton after beating Lawrence last week. That was a pretty. I was thinking about putting Clinton in my.
Yeah, Clinton, I believe, was supposed to play this week against somebody that canceled. Actually, I think
it might have been Clinton.
I think Union County Lawrence is still happening. I think that could be a good ball game there. I believe.
Okay.
Anyway,
yeah, I mean,
my head is swimming right now with different cancellations of game schedule.
In 2-8, now this makes me excited.
Derek birthday said, appreciate you guys as usual. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks, man. 2-8, this gets me pretty excited here. Abbeville number 1, of course. Great Collegiate number 2.
That team is good. They got a good win over Oceanside last week, who may not be as good as we thought Oceanside was. They're 0-2 now.
Yeah.
Got beat pretty handily by Gray. We'll see. Like I said, KZ Adams, love the kid, great player. Great Collegiate, big win last week for the War Eagles.
Would like to see a Gray Abbeville game. We got cheated last year with Gray. Not in the playoffs. Marion at number 3.
Hanging in there.
Well
boxes.
Saluda, well deserved at number 4.
Climbing the ranks.
Silver Bluff, who I've talked about before, we hadn't heard about Silver Bluff. Silver Bluff now at number 5. Barnwell, who we have some questions with, checking in at 6.
Seems high after last week.
Andrews is at 7. Christchurch at 8. Newberry, I think they should be in the number 9 spot. I don't think you can put them higher because of the loss. But Newberry's still a good team. And then you have St. Joseph's at 10.
They've looked good so far as well. They've got a couple of very nice ones. We'll see how that holds up when they get into region play. They've looked good so far.
I think 2A is going to be fun.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really good schools here on the outside looking in that have gotten votes. You're talking about North Central, Batesburg, Leesville, and Andrew Jackson. And then going down to Class A, you've got Southside Christian, of course, number 1. Lamar, number 2. Vandenberg Earhart, number 3. Whale Branch, 4. Blackville Hilda is 5. Louisville has been impressive last couple of years.
Big win over Wagner Valley last week.
Yeah. You got Lakeview, the Gators checking in.
Wow, let's go.
Baptist Hill at 8. Great Falls at 9. They get to play a game this week against Atlanta. And number 10, Hannah Pamplico.
Yeah. And I believe, John, if you got that pulled up still, Calhoun is receiving votes, correct?
For
1A?
They are.
How does this team beat a number 5 2A team, which Barnwell might have been higher this week, I don't know, beat them by 2 scores, and they can't get in the top 10 in 1A? How does that work?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, that's surprising.
I can't tell you.
But, anyway. Continue.
That's our top 10. So a couple new names in the top 10 this week. Good to see a little bit of shuffling. And it's hard to tell. You got teams. Teams like Myrtle Beach that you know they're good. You know they're going to be tough whenever they get on the field. You know Dillon's going to be tough whenever they get on the field. But then you got some teams that actually played games and looked impressive. And it's tough with these guys. And there's only 15 of them. But my opinion is reward the teams that are playing. When Myrtle Beach gets on the field, when they blow someone off the field, okay, then you can give them their ranking. When Dillon gets back on the field, if they beat somebody, who knows what's going to happen post Jackie Hayes, then put them back in there. But until then, let's reward the teams that are actually playing and winning.
Charles Miller said 3A will work out. Wren started at 5, played the number 1, number 3 teams at 5A, and now out of the top 10. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough schedule there for sure. But I mean, we talked about these polls before, Charles. Like, I mean, you can't put so much stock in them. I mean, these guys, obviously nothing against them, but they're from newspapers or radio station, TV stations from that part of the state. They don't see, but those teams, so they don't really know. So, I mean, nothing against those guys. I mean, how you do it any better than what they do, but. Yeah, I think Wren's going to be good. I'm interested to see what happens. Yeah. This Wren, this Wren Powdersville game is a very intriguing one to me. And we'll see what happens. If Wren wins that game, that's good for them. If Powdersville wins that game, it's like, whoa, Powdersville is for real.
Now, who do you think has? I wouldn't say Powdersville has necessarily got pressure on them. I think Wren kind of has the pressure on them. But I'll be interested to see what the mentality is because here's Powdersville in this. Oh man, we're 2-0. We're riding high. This is great. But now it's
it's tough.
We got to play a really good Wren team that is probably pretty ticked off. Yep. They're coming into this game 0-2, and they're still good. They're still a really good team.
Scott says he agrees with you about awarding the teams that are playing. I think you're right about that too, Scott. I kind of see both sides of that coin. Where one is like, they haven't been there before, so they don't know what to expect. Like, it gets nervous. At the same time, like, they haven't been there before. So like, why not just like go play all out? You know, I mean, they're like I said, setting, you know, breaking new records, having first every week. These guys are just having fun playing some ball. So that's a very intriguing matchup Friday night for sure.
Yeah, and, you know, we talked before. You know, it's you can do whatever. You can go 0-5 and non-region play. It's not a big deal. But you don't want to have that, you know, that mentality and that stigma of losing games. And for Wren, you know, again, I don't think they have pressure on them so much. But you talk about a team that's hungry for a win. You know, I don't know if there's a team in the state more so than Wren.
Yeah.
Especially after last week, they played really well.
Yeah, they did. That was kind of a fun matchup with the quarterback for Wren, Trey Horn, being the former quarterback at TL Hanna. So cool matchup there, but couldn't quite pull it off. But that was a good matchup for them. But yeah, if you guys have any other games you want to hear about right quick, let us know. I'll give a quick sponsor shout out while y'all are seeing if there is. But definitely want to shout out our friends at the George Agency, Bradley, Wayne, Richard, and the crew. Serving the insurance needs of South Carolina for over 35 years. Full line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance with an office in Mullins and Merle's Inlet. They can help you all across the state. Have clients in Greer, Rock Hill, Columbia, etc. So wherever you are, they can help. Give them a call. Check them out at thegeorgeagency.net, thegeorgeagency.net. And I put a link for them also in all our podcasting and stuff like that. So check them out. And then also our newest sponsor that we're just talking about earlier, Secured Advantage Federal Credit Union. They have a clear purpose to improve the financial lives of their members. They offer much lower loan rates and don't charge the fees other banks do. Whatever your personal journey, Secured Advantage is here to offer you smart financial solutions. Join today at securedadvantagefcu.com. That's securedadvantagefcu.com. Secured Advantage Federal Credit Union. Win at banking, thrive at life. Member NCUA. So check them out for all your banking needs. We like those guys over there a good bit. Like I said, offices in Simpsonville, Duncan. So be sure to check them out. Man, everybody's agreeing with Scott. So Scott, a good point there. John made the point too. Good job, guys. So appreciate that. But John, anything else that you want to hit on maybe before we get out of here for this week?
I tell you what, it's a great time to be following upstate football, 5A upstate football.
Yeah.
Greenwood, Dorman, Burns, Clover, Northwestern, all big games this week. There's not a ton in the rest of the state, but as far as 5A upstate goes, we got some really, really good ones.
Like we said, we're looking at going Nixon Field for Dutch Fork and Burns. If you're over there, send us a message on here. Love to shake your hand, say, hey, appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's always nice. I've enjoyed meeting Jeff and Patrick the last couple weeks. It's been really cool to chat with those guys about some football and just chop it up with them and whatnot. But like I said, if you guys, this is your first time here, like our video that's playing now, like our page, it'd be great. If you go to the page and click the little drop down, invite friends, that's a huge help as well. Trying to grow this community. We love the comments. I mean, it's so much easier. It's so much more fun for us when you guys are throwing in your comments about this game and that game, asking questions. Like, we love doing that. So be sure to tell all your friends and follow us on Facebook. Also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Movin the Chains. That's where we post all these updates. You know, I can't keep flooding Facebook with cancellation, because Facebook doesn't work that way. But Twitter, I've got a string of 15 in a row, just cancellations. So check us out on there for some other cool stuff we're doing. Check us out on Instagram for some cool pictures and whatnot from the games we're going to be at and things like that. Also, check out the audio-only version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So we're there for you if you want to tune us in. While you're at work tomorrow, don't want to watch the video, just plug in the podcast version and check us out on there too. So all the same information. We love having you guys tune in. Jay said he's taking Catawba Ridge. I think we're going the same way, so that'll be a good ball game. If you're over in that direction in Fort Mill, I would hate not to check that one out. That'd be a good ball game for sure, John.
Yeah. But there's not many teams in the state I would pick over Greenwood either.
Yeah. Darius McCullough says Jaden Davis is legit. They're scary good. Yeah, I think they're a team to watch out for. I know they're ranked 4th right now, John. They're going to be a team that's going to be right there at the end in a state final, I think, or at least a upper lower state that level state final for sure. And
they're going to be another team that nobody's going to want to play.
Yep. Derek said he's kind of skeptic about these polls too. We agree. Like we've said before, like I said it earlier, they just can't see every team. Like, that's the problem. It's not like college football where those guys don't see every team either, but at least these games are on TV, so they can see a team out west or in the Big Ten or whatever. Here in high school football, a guy from Florence isn't watching tape on Gaffney. He's not watching Burns. He's not watching Abbeville. He doesn't know how they look. So, the polls are a little up in the air, but nothing against those guys, but I don't know what you do to make it better. But yeah, I agree with you. Agree with you there. And Jay said he should be at the Catawba Ridge Southport. That'd be a good ball game there for sure. Cool. But
let's see how it goes.
Yeah, send us some pictures. If you guys are getting, send us pictures, videos, tweets, everything. Love to hear from you. So, John, I think that does it for week 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pumped.
It's been a great week 2 preview show. We'll be back next Tuesday. May have a recap show this weekend for you guys. We'll see how everything works out with the holiday weekend. But if we don't talk to you again, have a great week. Go enjoy some high school football, and we'll chat with you guys soon.
Make your picks.
Yeah, get in there to pick them. Get in it.